Hello, everyone. Well, I just got done watching. I got done watching the rally, the Georgia rally with Trump and Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. And David Perdue didn't speak at any point, so far as I, so far as I know, so far as I can tell. Maybe he spoke at the beginning. I don't know. Before Trump arrived, I don't know. I did hear Kelly Loeffler speak, and was very deeply troubling. Can't tell you how troubling it was. Uh, if even a fraction of the things that Trump is saying are true, even a fraction of them are true, it's a complete disaster. Okay? It's a real travesty of justice, really, really ugly. Um, However, Trump has been known to lie before. He has been known to lie. He has been known to fabricate things, make up stories, make false statements. This is the same guy that brought you the statement that you should drink disinfectant, and it was a joke. So, and he said other things before that were blatant lies. I read the other day that this is just one person claiming this. I have no proof of this. I have no proof, nothing to back up this claim. But I read that Trump has told 20,000 lies during his presidency, and it's possible. I know he's told a few. And if it came right down to the brass tacks, if it came right down to his presidency with everything at stake, why wouldn't he lie in a situation like that? So we don't know if he's lying or not. However, we know that there's voter fraud every year. There's voter fraud in the case of George W. Bush and Al Gore. Al Gore should have won Florida, and the governor of Florida helped George W. steal the election. So it happens on both parties, both sides. No exceptions. You can't just point to one party and say, yes, this is the honest party. Yes, this is the dishonest party. Because both parties do these nasty, dirty tricks. They do them all the time. Politics is a dirty, dirty game. It's ugly. And I'll tell you, all the problems he mentioned with communism and socialism, that's all true. That's all true too. But you must realize that there's only so far government can go, and there's only so much that government can do for you. And this is a real problem that some people have total faith in their government. They have total faith. They have total faith in their government. They have total faith that things will always stay the same. They have total faith that things will be all right. And then it's not. Then it's not. As long as you're living on that spot on the land, they could still put you in a prison cell for whatever reason. And just the government. It's the dirty, down, low government that does these things. So the government's not going to save you. It can only oppress you. And government is a beast, a monster, that needs to be kept under control. Needs to be kept under wraps somehow, some way. And if you can't keep it under wraps, if you can't keep it under wraps, you could be the next victim. You could be next. You could be next unless you keep your mouth shut at all times. Seriously, you have to keep your mouth shut. Keep your nose clean, and even then you could get dragged into something if you get on somebody's bad side. Yeah, somebody could just be having a bad day, point to you and say, throw that guy to the lions. And next thing you know, it's curtains for you. That's the way tyrannical governments are. It's not fun. It's not fun being under tyrannical rule. And it looks to me as though whatever way we go at this juncture, at this point in history, we're going to have tyrannical government because Trump could be lying. He could be lying. I'm not saying he is lying, because if he's telling the truth, then it's egregious and it's terrible and it's wrong. But he could be lying. And if he's lying to us, then what do we do? What do we do? And then if he gets in against the will of the people, against the vote of the people, that's tyrannical, right? Then on the other side, you have the tyranny of socialism and the tyranny of mob rule, and just basically establishing tyranny over people. And another thing that's troubling is that, just personally troubling to me, is that they keep throwing up, God and the Lord in your face. In your face. We're a Christian nation. And there's other religions too. But, if you mention those other religions, you get cursed at and lambasted and shot down, told that you're going to hell. That's all you get is you're going to hell because you don't believe my way. You don't believe the way I do. So this is so sad. It's so troubling. And I'll tell you what, all we want is peace. That's it. All we want is peace. We just want the peace. And we want as few deaths as possible. That's all we want. And Trump so far has kept the peace. He's kept us out of wars. But his rally, January 6th, there's going to be counter-protesters there. There's going to be counter-protesters and counter-protesters. There's going to be people on Trump's side, and there's going to be people on Biden's side. And they are going to go at it. And they may bring guns to the gun show. Okay, there may be a war right on the street at Trump's rally. And Trump has promised people a wild time. It's a wild time. And he said, don't back down. Don't let them take it away. We won this election fair and square. Don't let them take it away. Stand up and fight. Okay, he said stand up and fight. All in caps. All in caps, stand up and fight. That is very dangerous thing to say. That is rhetoric that could be extremely dangerous. And I personally am scared of it. I'm scared that there's going to be violence. And I think Trump's in danger too. I don't think it's going to be a safe rally for anybody. Not even with the Secret Service there. It's not going to be safe. If bullets start flying, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be really, really dangerous. And I don't like the direction this is headed. I don't like the direction this country is headed in. I don't like it at all. I could see all the warning signs. I was just thinking to myself, boy, what I wouldn't give for a passport right about now, because I would just jet right out of here. Please, please don't go to Washington. I know you're tempted. I know you want to. I know you want to support Trump. I know you want to support Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. Just don't go. Don't go to Washington, because there's going to be hell to pay for anybody who shows up, and everybody who shows up is going to get arrested, and people are going to get prosecuted for no reason, and there's going to be a roundup, and there's going to be perhaps a mass shooting. Perhaps several mass shootings. It could be a gunfight. like the OK Corral. It could be like war. It could be like warfare. It could be like a battlefield. Just stay home if you value your lives, the lives of your loved ones. Just stay home. I'm sorry to say it. I know that that sounds bad, and it taking support away from Trump, support away from Trump, support away from conservative values. But it's going to be really dangerous. It's going to be really dangerous. So if you value your life at all, or the life of your loved ones, don't go. If you're a soldier, go right ahead. Go right ahead and show up. But if you're not a soldier, I wouldn't show up. And I'm not going to show up. So, on to, now that that's over with, on to the subject of this video, which is just ask. Just ask. What do I mean by just ask? What I mean is something that's common to many religions. It's common to Christianity. It's common to Hinduism. And I don't know if it's common to Islam or Judaism. Maybe. But I know that Christianity and Hinduism share this in common. What it is there is a religion centered around one's hero. Okay? This is common mythology to many religions. Centered around one's hero. And religion studies people, these religious historians and religious sociologists like to call it a cult. But it's a derogatory term, cult. So, sort of a cult, but it's a religion that's centered around a hero of some sort. That hero is a deliverer. And the whole idea behind this deliverer, in Christianity, obviously, it's Jesus. Hinduism, Shiva is a deliverer. And also Krishna is a deliverer. So there's a few deliverers, and the idea is if you put all your love and all your trust and all your faith in this deliverer, you can bypass all your karma, all of your accumulated karma. And in Christianity, it's all or nothing. It's just all or nothing. There is no karma, and you just either go to heaven or hell, and that's it. It's just black and white thinking. And there's no loopholes, and there's no way out. You just have to accept or die. In Hinduism, there's a shortcut for possibly thousands or even millions of lives of suffering. Can all be ended just by putting your love and your faith in this hero. And my religion is closer to that one. It's closer to Hinduism. Putting all your love, putting all your faith in a hero that can rescue you from all of your karma, from all of your bad deeds, and also, in fact, corruption of spirit. So whatever's wrong with you, something wrong with the inside. Even if you live a perfect life, something's wrong on the inside. It always has been and always will be, unless you just ask for help with this problem you're having. Just ask for help because something's wrong. So Christianity sort of touches on corruption of spirit, but they don't really emphasize it. They don't really talk about it a lot. They just say, you have a free will choice all the time. You're always going to choose wrong unless You're saved by Jesus. But what does saved mean? Saved means curing you of the disease of corruption, which they call sin. They call it the curse of sin, and they think it's hereditary. But it's not hereditary. It's a thing of the spirit. And we don't like to think that things of the spirit can be corrupt, or that sin is a spiritual principle, but it is. It is. And so, in Hinduism, you know, karma can be pretty heavy karma. It's the same thing as sin. It's bad deeds. But they don't really emphasize corruption of spirit in Hinduism. They don't talk about it. They don't discuss it really. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do. Because Hinduism is so complex and there's so much written about it that I'm sure that they do have their own version. But maybe it's not as common and just doesn't get discussed very often. So, who is this hero? You're all dying to know, right? Well, the hero is Goddess. Hero is Goddess. She's my hero. She can undo corruption of spirit. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. She can undo corruption of spirit. All you have to do is ask. And I wouldn't ask for her to undo it all at once. No. Because if you'd undo it all at once, you could die. So, what I would ask her to do is just a little bit each day. Just a little bit each day. Undo my corruption a little bit more every day. A little bit more every day. A little bit more every day. Just pray to her. Pray to Goddess. Ask her for forgiveness and also protection. And have faith. Believe in her. And ask her to undo corruption of spirit. Because that's the root of all your problems. I wouldn't worry so much about your sins. Because corruption of spirit is much worse and lasts a longer time. Think about it okay, I'm going to use a Jesus parable. Please forgive me. The teaching a man to fish instead of giving him a fish or giving him a loaf. Teaching him to bake bread, teaching him to fish. It's a parable, right? But it's the same thing, only teaching a man to fish is like undoing corruption of spirit. See how that works? Teaching a man to fish is like undoing corruption of spirit. Giving a man a fish is like forgiving sins. You can forgive sins, and then you'll have to forgive 70 times 7 sins. Because the person will just keep on sinning until they are saved and have sin taken away. What all of this means is that their corruption of spirit is undone. Isn't that terrific? Isn't that fantastic? You love it, don't you? Undoing corruption of spirit. So how do spirits become corrupted? Well, bad influences. Bad influences, the influence of others, and also letting your guard down and allowing yourself through a free will choice to become corrupted. There has to be a free will component, and there also has to be a bad influence. You can become corrupted just by being exposed to a bad influence. You don't even have to choose to follow that person. You can just become corrupted just by being exposed. And it's not total corruption at that point, because you resist it, but it's still corruption. So you have to ask for the corruption of spirit to be undone. And that's even more important than forgiveness of sins. It really is. Because that's where sin comes from, is corruption of spirit. If you really want to know, where does sin come from? It comes from corruption of spirit. This is evil, badness, chaos mixed in with your spirit. So that's what needs to be undone. It needs to be undone. need to undo corruption of spirit. And all you have to do is just ask and have faith in Goddess. She's going to undo your corruption of spirit and allow her to do her work. Ask for it and allow her to do her work and uncorrupt your spirit a little more each day. Just ask for a little more each day until the end. When you get to paradise, and you meet Goddess, very first thing you ask for is for all of your corruption of spirit to be undone and for you to be made whole so that you can join her there. That's all you have to do is just ask. And she has the power to do that. She really does. She has the power. So, I want to tell you a little story. There was a shooting in East Texas. This bad guy was escaping from the law. He was driving in his car and they were following him. There was a car chase. Stopped at a church, got out of his car, went into the church, went into a bathroom stall. Cop comes after him, comes right into the bathroom stall, opens it up. Bad guy disarms him, and then shoots him with his own gun and kills him dead. And he goes back to his car, and there's more of a car chase. They finally nab him. They finally arrest him and grab him, and they nab him. Now he's being charged with capital murder. And our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the officer. I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry for you. So sorry that you lost a dear loved one that was so brave, such a brave person. And doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't really matter to some people. Because some people it doesn't matter to, and they prefer to say, well, it doesn't matter. But this man this felon that was escaping from the law happened to be African American. And the only reason I point this out is to say that people like this make other people look bad. Okay? And sow the seeds of hate. They're sowing the seeds of hate every day. Every day, every single day, every single way. They're sowing the seeds of hate. They're sowing the seeds of hatred. And law-abiding citizens, there's so many law-abiding citizens that are African American, and they're such nice people, and they're so good. They're such good people, and they're so nice. They get tarnished, and they get branded because of these individuals. So these individuals are sowing the seeds of hate. They're committing these hateful crimes. And it's all justified. It's all justified because it's police. There's sociopathic culture. It's a culture. It's of sociopathy. It's a whole culture in America. It's a sociopathic underground, you might say. It's an underground. It's a subculture. So that is anti-police. And we've seen Black Lives Matter come out very strongly anti-police. Well, that makes us think that it's the criminal element, right? That that Black Lives Matter is actually composed of this sociopathic subculture, this underground that hates the police. Because some police are dangerous, but most aren't. Most of them are not. And the number of shootings by cops of unarmed citizens or just police brutality, police murder, like the knee on George Floyd's neck, that happens. And yeah, there's demented cops out there, but it's relatively rare compared to the number of criminals. Oh my gosh, there's so many criminals. And they just all get ignored. They all get ignored. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter as long as they're African American. So that's a subculture. That is a cultural heritage. A cultural heritage, but it's a subculture that is sociopathic and is anti-law enforcement, pro-criminal, and pro-crime. And that's what's happened. Crime, the murder rate has skyrocketed. Chief Arredondo is at his wit's end. He doesn't know what to do. He's begging people, please, please, please. Please, he's begging the city council, please do something, please. Please help us. Please, we can't do this alone. We can't do this without funding, which they've defunded the police. And city council doesn't care. They're total radicals. They don't care. They don't care. Arredondo is a black man. City council members are white. It should inform you as to how sensitive these liberals may be to the needs of the African American community, and how these criminals are, when they're allowed to run rampant, how they sow the seeds of hate and make people look bad. They really do. They make people look bad, and they sow hatred. They do sow hatred. And that's what sociopaths do. They sow hatred wherever they go. And also antisocial personalities, narcissists, psychopaths, all of them, they sow hatred wherever they go. They sow hatred. They do evil things, rape children, commit incest, murder, armed robbery, carjackings, rape, all of it, all these bad things they do, and also domestic abuse. They're clubbing their wives and their children. So, what do we do? What do we do about this tidal wave? There's really nothing we can do except support the police and thank the police for the job that they're doing, because they do sacrifice their lives every day. They put their lives on the line. Sometimes they pay the ultimate price. They're sacrificing their lives every day, and nobody talks about it. It's considered gauche or taboo, and if you support the police, then you're a racist, because police are all anti-African American, supposedly. This is the liberal point of view. I don't agree. I just don't agree. I don't agree that the police are anti-African American. In fact, many of the police are African American, so that's it. Remember to just ask. Just ask. Just ask for forgiveness, and just ask to have your corruption of spirit taken away. That's the important thing. That's the main thing. Even if you didn't ask for forgiveness, which is important, it's very important, but there's a lot of emphasis put on forgiveness. A lot of emphasis is put on forgiveness. The corruption of spirit, that is where the problem lies. If you can root out corruption of spirit, you've rooted out the whole problem. You've rooted out the whole tooth, and all the pulp comes with it that's infected. You root it all out. You don't just take the surface tooth off. You root the whole thing out and clean it out so it's nice and clean inside. That's it. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and don't go to Washington, but please do watch. Please watch what happens. Please watch the rally, even if it's very difficult to watch. Please watch what happens. And I'll see you next time.